All sports, all plays, all 5% best bets for the next 30 days from your favorite WagerTalk handicapper for only $1.99 versus the regular price of $3.49 for a total savings of $1.50. Prices are already discounted across the board and no coupon is required. Just head over to WagerTalk.com, pick your favorite handicapper in the experts menu, and lock them in for 30 days across all sports for only $1.99.
Hey guys, Carmine Bianco here, WagerTalk.com with our Thursday edition of Stoppage Time. With me today, we're going to cover 4 big games that are going on this weekend as domestic league action finally returns after the international break. With me from Sports Memo, it's Pavlos Laguretos, and from WagerTalk.com, Kevin Dolan and Nick Borrman. Let's bring the guys in and go a round table right off the bat. Nick, you're coming off a winning international break. Last 3 days were pretty good for you. How are things?
Yeah, things are good. Started off the international break not in a great run with the first couple of days, but ended strong. Tennis, NHL, both been going strong, and made a nice winner yesterday, taking Pavlos' 5% play. So thanks for that winner, Pavlos.
Mm-hmm. Yes, speaking of Pavlos, let's go to him. A lot of surprises during this international break, but one thing that wasn't a surprise, you were the $2 capper at Sports Memo on Tuesday, and you released a play for Wednesday, an easy winner, Denmark, Austria, over the total. How you doing, my friend?
Yeah, doing great. It was an excellent Sunday, followed up by a mediocre Tuesday, but yesterday was great again with a 1.5%, a couple of correct scores, a couple of prop bets. So yeah, it's been an excellent qualifying phase for me, and I'm looking to bring that momentum to today's matches. But I have to say that even though I finished with 10 wins and 8 losses in my last 3 days, even though I had the 10 wins and 8 losses, have plus 24% ROI, which goes to show that I give out a lot of plays, but when they hit, it's correct scores that hit, and they just they skyrocket your ROI. So you won't see me going like 10-1, 15-1 or something, but the ROI is what you have to look, in my plays, because I give out a ton of plays, but the ones that win are at very high odds.
God love you, Pavlos. Your promotion. I will never go 10-1, 15-1.
Yeah.
I have a little bit of faith. I think on Saturday or what on the weekend you were like 10-1.
It was Sunday, yeah.
Yeah. So you're lying to us, man. Come on. Kevin Dolan, another guy on a great run, 23-12 run, 5-0 last night. That is yesterday. That was a pretty sick run, a pretty good day for you, my friend. How you doing?
Yeah, all good. It was a great run last night. 3-0 in NBA, 1-0 in NHL, and then 1-0 in soccer. We had that France and under 3.5, 12-3 all sports run right now, and we're looking at a 5% NHL play up tonight, and also we have a huge 5% boxing play posted up already. First one in 2021, actually. So, it shows we really don't fire on these very often, but this line is simply ridiculous to me. And honestly, if we had 10% plays over here at WagerTalk, I'd be sticking out on that too. So, head on over there for that.
All right. I wasn't even aware that boxing still existed. Nick Borrman says that sport is dead, but with that said, we are going to get right into it, guys. And then I'm going to have a promo after our second game. This is an April promo that is a really good one. 4 big games this weekend. These are the ones we're going to cover on today's show. EPL, Arsenal and Liverpool, Man City, Leicester City. And then we're going to head over to Germany in the Bundesliga, Red Bull Leipzig and Bayern Munich, top 2 teams in the Bundesliga battling it there. And then we're going to head over to France, where the top 2 teams, Lille and PSG, face off with the winner taking over top spot. So with that said, let's get right to it. Arsenal and Liverpool. Arsenal plus 220 at home. The draw is plus 270. Liverpool is plus 115 as favorites. The total is 2.75, which is a split line of 2.5 and 3. I look at this game, and then I'm going to go to Pavlos first on this one. I have to think while Arsenal are safe as far as the league goes, they're all in Europa. I think their focus is really on Europa League right now. They have a quarterfinals, which they should win against Slavia Prague. From there, they're going to meet in the semifinals. Should they get by Slavia, they'll meet the winner of Villarreal and Dinamo Zagreb. So they're going to avoid Man United, Ajax, Roma, and Nick's favorite team, Granada, until possibly the finals if they get that far. So that's, I think, where their focus is at this point right now. Liverpool, they're in a tough spot. 9 games left in the season, 5 points back of Chelsea for that 4th spot. Doesn't look like Chelsea's dropping any points anytime soon. It doesn't look like it's going to be a Champions League year next season for Liverpool. Their focus might have to be on getting into Europa League, and even that's tough with the 5th place team getting it. There would be a 6th spot if the FA Cup winner is a team that resides in the top 4, or top 4 or top 5. So then a Europa League spot goes to that 6th place team. So with that in mind, Pavlos, let's go to you first on this game.
Yeah, Arsenal, they looked like they're turning things around in the EPL, but then they go and they concede 3 first-half goals against West Ham. Well, they were lucky in that match because West Ham scored 2 own goals and Arsenal managed to escape with a 3-3 draw. But as you said, they're really low in the standings right now, 9th in the EPL. So their focus should be in winning the Europa League. Liverpool, they have 5 straight losses at home. They've been much better on the road. They won 5 of their last 6 in all competitions. So they still have some problems in the defense, and I don't think that they'll solve them anytime soon. Gomez is out, Matip is out, Van Dijk is out. Now they have Firmino out, or possibly questionable, I think. So Arsenal, they have troubles defensively all season. They have kept just 1 clean sheet in the last 15 matches. They've only lost to City in the last 6 matches at in the EPL. So I don't think that this is going to be a match where Arsenal would have the first say. But we do have to say that Arsenal have lost just 1 of their last, I think, 10 home matches against Liverpool. This is traditionally a venue where Liverpool struggle. They have just 2 wins since 2002, just 2 wins here. So looking at how the 2 teams have played recently, I wouldn't be surprised by a draw here. The last match they played against each other was an EFL Cup match earlier in the season, a 0-0 draw. Last season, they also played in the Community Shield final, another 1-1 draw. Last season, they also played in the EFL Cup, a 5-5 draw. So these are all matches that produce goals from both sides, a lot of goals between them. So I think that the over 2.5 goals over 2 3/4 goals at -103 is the way to go here. But I wouldn't be surprised by a draw, which is plus 270 right now.
All right. Nicky makes some good points, and I'm going to head to you next on this one. You know, one of the things, and I'm cautious with all of these games the weekend after the international break because players are returning. We don't know whether they're getting right in there and playing 90 minutes. The ones that did serve international duty. So it's tough to figure out until you see some reports that come out after the training sessions on Friday. Thoughts on this game and possible lineups, players out. I know Saka was pulled out of the England squad because of an injury, so he didn't practice with the team as of yet. So he's likely not in the lineup, and he's been a big important part of that team as well too.
Yeah, Saka would be the one I would pay attention to. If he's out for Arsenal, he's definitely been a big change for those guys. So you want to pay attention to that. I haven't seen – I see him listed as questionable right now, so I haven't seen anything official at this point, and probably will have to wait till tomorrow. But assuming lineups that I guess were in play before the international break are in play here, the over that Pavlos mentioned, I think is a good way to play this game. Arsenal, Carm, you hit on the fact that they're not going to make up the ground they need to make up to get to a Champions League spot and a top 4 spot in this league. It's just there's too many teams in front of them. They're too far behind. So not that they're not going to come in here and try to win this game, but they also have really nothing to lose in this game. So taking some chances, pushing forward to try to win the game, just because they have to win. A draw's not going to do them any good here. So it creates a lot of open space on the field. Liverpool, on the other side, though, they cannot afford anything but a win either. I mean, how many of us expected with 9 games left in the season, we'd be saying Liverpool's on the outside looking in for a Champions League spot, but here we are. The one trend that has been hitting a lot in these guys when they play is in 15 of the last 18 meetings, both teams have scored. Now, right now, it's not priced super attractive at -150, but long term, obviously, at 15-3 win rate, it's an easy winner if that continues. And their most recent meeting was a scoreless draw in regulation time in the EFL Cup, but before that, Liverpool, they played 3 times already. Liverpool won 3-1 in the reverse picture, and they played to a 1-1 draw in the Community Shield back in August, which Arsenal ended up winning in extra time. In London, at the Gunners Stadium, this prop has hit in each of the last 4 seasons. Both teams have scored. I'd be more worried about Liverpool scoring, actually, but really they were struggling at home. Away from home, Liverpool has scored in 20 of their 22 matches in all competitions this year. So I don't know. There's just a lot of trends pointing at both teams getting on the board here. And for that reason, you'd think, well, now you only need one more goal somewhere and the over comes through. I recommend both teams to score more than the over just because at 2 3/4, you need to get 4 goals for a winner. And this thing could very well end up 2-1, honestly, either way. So I like both teams to score. It's not super, super attractive price at -150, but I think it's still worth the play.
All right, Kev, I'm going to give you the last word on this, but you were one of the guys early on, probably a couple months ago on one of our Stoppage Time shows that talked about the struggles of Liverpool and how last year they got by winning some of these 1-0, 2-0 games, and they've been exposed for that this year with the fact that not scoring and obviously they're with the injuries on defense. Things have been a little different for them. I did mention before I go to you, I did mention that Liverpool likely, obviously, they're not going to finish top 4. I don't see it happening. So the race might be for Europa League. They are still in Champions League, and they're in a draw. With Real Madrid. News coming out now that Sergio Ramos will miss both games for Real Madrid. If Liverpool can get by them, they'll play the winner of the Porto and Chelsea in the semifinals before facing, either Bayern, Manchester United, or one of the other teams. So they've still got a route to the Champions League next year, which is winning Champions League this year. So their focus could be there as well, too. Give me your thoughts on this game.
Yeah, exactly, Carmine. They won 14 games last year by exactly 1 goal. So, it's no surprise we've seen some regression this year, although I will agree with Nick in terms of, we didn't see them quite this far back, like looking in for a Champions League spot. In terms of the 4 games we're going to talk about today, this is the weakest one for me. I just think it's priced kind of right in my eyes. The motivation's a big factor here. Liverpool aren't making it into the Champions League, in my opinion. They sit 10 points off Leicester in 3rd. Only 5 points off Chelsea, but the way Chelsea are playing right now, I just can't see Liverpool catching them here and closing that gap, especially with only 9 games left in the season. So, if I was playing playing this one, I agree with the guys. I think both teams to score is an option. I also kind of like the over too, because I definitely see 3 goals. And if you're looking at the handicap line, the Gunners catching a 1/4 goal here, but overall, though, it's a complete Swiss pass. I'm going to wave my Swiss flag in this one. And I think there's a lot better value across the board this weekend in this game.
Yeah, I agree with you. And to your point of Chelsea, yeah, they're just not dropping points. They're just not even losing games. And if you look at their schedule to close out the season, West Brom, they play West Brom, they play Crystal Palace, Brighton, West Ham, Fulham. Then they have Man City, Arsenal, and Leicester 3 games in a row before ending with Aston Villa. Other than that group of 3 games, I just don't see how they drop any points. And those aren't losses either. Those are draws. Those are they'll probably beat Arsenal because Arsenal is still in Europa. They'll be focused on something other than playing Chelsea in Premier League. All right, let's get to the second game. Man City, Leicester City. Leicester City plus 500 here. The draw is plus 320. Man City minus 182. The total is 2.5. We all know City are rolling right now. Top of the league, 71 points, 14 points over their City counterparts, United. They're literally 4 wins or less away from lifting that PL title. And then you have Leicester City, who are sitting, as you mentioned, they're sitting there with 56 points. They're in a good spot. But this is about the time last year, if you guys remember, where Leicester City hit a bad patch and dropped from top 4, eventually out, I think on the final match day, out of the top 4 and lost their Champions League bid. So that's a focus for them this year. I'm going to go to Nick first on this one. A bit of a revenge spot here for City, because you'll remember Leicester came to the Etihad and dialed one up 5-2, which was one of City's bigger losses in quite a while. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I was going to lead off with that. Pep's going to be reminding his guys about that 5-2 loss earlier this year. Obviously, that was a long time ago. That was September. City didn't start the season in the greatest of form, but over the last 3-4 months, we all can agree that nobody's looked better than those guys on the field. However, I'm not really in love with laying a goal with City here on the road. I mean, to me, the Premier League, we already know this, it's wrapped up, right? So I look at this as like a training game, a warm-up game for their Champions League coming up. Obviously, this is – well, they're going to try to – Pep already said if anybody takes any of these games off or isn't trying to win these games, they're going to be benched. So he's going to be pushing the guys to play hard. But at the same time, towards the end of the game, there's no real huge urgency to push for anything. So I don't like laying a goal on the road. Leicester's very good. They're the one of a few teams that have had some sort of success against City over the last few seasons. In the last 6 meetings, they do have 2 wins and a draw compared to 3 wins by City, but only one of those wins was by more than 1 goal. So that alone kind of leans you to say, well, you know what, Leicester at home, catching a full goal is a pretty good value play here. Even better, though, Leicester plus a half a goal in the first half is the way I'm looking at this one. They've been tied or in the lead at half in 5 of the last 6 meetings. They come out and they play City well to start the game. City ultimately a lot of the times ends up over 90 minutes wearing you down because they take a lot of possession. And coming off the international break, I wouldn't be surprised to see this thing start a little slow as players kind of get reaccustomed back to playing with one another. For adventurous bettors and anybody that has, cojones like Pavlos has, 2-1 Leicester is paying 20-1. Just throwing it out there. Or you could be a little less brave and take Leicester money line plus 530. But I wouldn't be surprised to see City win this game. I don't think any of us would be. But at the same time, I don't want to bet them right now. I don't think there's a lot of need for them to get in here and run the score up other than just the revenge angle. So I actually think there's value on Leicester, whether you do a +1 or you do a plus a half a goal in the first half.
Yeah, no, I get it. Kev, I'm going to go to you here next. My thing is this, okay, and it's the international break just finished. City has a lot of those players out playing for their national teams. At least as far as De Bruyne goes, he didn't play in that 3rd game where they pounded Belarus. I believe he was on the bench. I doubt he actually came into the game in the second half. I didn't look, but I'm pretty certain he didn't. So at least he didn't play that game. But 3 days up from this game is the first is Ligue One of their Champions League quarterfinal against Dortmund. And you've got a 17 or a 14-point lead or whatever it is, 14, 17-point lead. He's got to be rotating the side here. Your thoughts?
I initially looked at this game and I really wanted to back Leicester here because, look, you guys have already covered most of the thoughts. De Bruyne might have been rested a wee bit. City had most of their side absolutely gutted during the international break, far more than Leicester did. Most of their first-team squad was out in international duty. So there likely will be a few tired legs on display here for City. In a game where Pep Guardiola might be forced to rotate a ton of players. And the other point against City here is, as you said, the Champions League quarter-final clash against Dortmund on Tuesday. That really doesn't give Pep a lot of time to prepare for that one. And with this game being sandwiched in between both of those international games and the Champions League quarter-final, the league's already basically wrapped up as well for City. Leicester catching a plus-goal head start here, does look good value on the face of it, but you guys covered at the start the one thing holding me back here. And the one thing actually like me to, I probably will walk to the window on the other side, is that 5-2 demolition job Leicester did in City back in the return fixture. In September, we know Pep holds grudges. If this was Klopp, it'd be a different matter. I wouldn't care as much. But Pep does hold grudges. It's just his character. We saw it against Wolves in the FA Cup a few seasons ago. Wolves put him out. He circled them for the next game. And that 5-2 loss to Leicester, especially at the Etihad, that's been sitting in his craw all season. I don't care what he says in public, because that was Pep's only time conceding 5 or more goals to an opponent in 729 games. So There's some big red marker in that dressing room about Leicester City. And, so as I said, on the face of it, there's plenty of reasons to like Leicester here. Relatively little for City to play for, but it's just that revenge angle for me, even with that tired squad. Pep's got this game circled, and I would take City here -3/4 at around -140 because of that. So, yeah, City for me -0.75.
I absolutely love that. Kevin Dolan bringing the numbers about Pep. That's some great information, my man. Pavlos, I'm going to give you the final word on this game.
Yeah, if this match was played at a different time, I would definitely go with the under 2.5 goals. The line moved, I think. It was at +100 yesterday or the day before. Today, the under... Oh, no, it's there, yeah. The under 2.5 goal goes at +103. The thing with the reverse fixture, that 2-5, was that Manchester City, they used Nathan Ake and Eric Garcia as their center backs. So they made 3 penalty kicks in that match. And if there wasn't for those 3 penalty kicks, maybe we could have seen a low-scoring affair, just like we're used to with Manchester City this season, especially on the road. So I don't know what lineup will Pep deploy in this match, but it would be safe to assume that he will rest most of his players, since most of them played in the World Cup qualifiers. So, yeah, backing Leicester could make sense here, but I think I'm going to stay with the under 2.5 goals. The only thing that worries me is the fact that exactly that Manchester City will use the reserves, and the reserves will probably fight, to get recognition, maybe challenge a spot at the starting lineup. Maybe we'll see a high-scoring match because of that there. But yeah, I'm not very fond of this match. If I would play it, I'd play it with the under 2.5 goals at +103 right now.
Yeah, it's a crazy dynamic at work in this game, which is the first game off of the international break, because you think you have one angle and then that is cut off by a different angle. I thought the City players off the international break being rested before a game against Dortmund 3 days later would be a good angle to take Leicester City, and then you worry about Pep and the whole 5-2 embarrassment at the Etihad and wanting some revenge. And then you look at, you throw one more curveball, and Leicester City, what they went through last year, and they're focused on a top 4 placing, and they know even a point here is like a win in the grand scheme of things, because of the lead that they have at 56 points. Dropping 3 points would be big, but picking up 3, I think, would almost secure them a Champions League spot. That's how big this game is for them. Guys, before we go to our third game, which is in Bundesliga action, this is a special that'll be up today on all the Soccer Cappers pages. It's April special, $129 for 30 days of soccer. That's normally $199. So all of April, which is going to cover a lot of these Champions League games, most of the end of all the European season and MLS is starting off. So there's just a ton of action going on almost daily with weekly domestic league games. $129. Head over to WagerTalk.com or Sports Memo. Click on your favorite Cappers page, and it'll be up there probably within the hour. You can click on the drop-down menu, and you'll see that the $199 has been crossed off, and it's $129. So head over to, like I said, to Sports Memo, Wager Talk, find your favorite capper, and take advantage of that 30-day soccer special. All right, guys, third game of this big game segment, Red Bull Leipzig and Bayern Munich. Red Bull Leipzig +170 at home. The draw is +280. Bayern Munich +137. We almost never see Bayern Munich at plus money, but you'll find out why. And the total is at 3 flat here. This is a battle between the top two teams. Munich currently have a 4-point lead over Leipzig, but that could easily become 1 at the end of the day. Leipzig 10-2-1 at home this season, dropping only 1 game. Bayern 9-1-3 away. This is more about, and then I'm going to go to, who are we going to go to first here? Let's spin the wheel. We're going to go to Pavlos first on this one. This is more about the players who are missing. A couple of them for Leipzig, Angelino and Upamecano, I pronounced that one right on first shot, are missing. But
Nice.
for Bayern Munich, Lewandowski was injured, as we know, during the international break. And strained ligaments, they're saying 3 to 4 weeks now. So he's going to miss a good part of the Champions League as well. Boateng out, Costa out, Davies out. His was a red card. So a few players obviously missing from this juggernaut that is Bayern Munich. Pavlos, I'm going to go to you first on this one.
Yeah, Red Bull Leipzig, now that the Champions League is over and they were eliminated, of course, they will surely focus on trying to overthrow Bayern Munich from the Bundesliga this season. This is probably their best and maybe their last chance to make that happen. If they win here, they're going to be just 1 point behind, and they will wait for Bayern Munich to stumble somewhere and maybe try to steal the title. But this is probably the most crucial match of the season for Red Bull Leipzig. Now, again, if we had this discussion about a week ago, I'd tell you that we're going to see many, many goals. The reverse fixture was a 3-3 draw in Munich. However, as you said, Carmine, Lewandowski is out, and which is a huge blow for Bayern Munich. Yes, they do have a deep bench. Yes, they do have a lot of players, but they also have some injuries, and I'm not so sure if they'll be able to cover Lewandowski's massive gap at the offense. I think that Bayern Munich would be happy with a draw here because it would keep Leipzig 4 points below them, and the draw goes at plus 280 around right now. So it's a really good bet to make, considering the fact that Red Bull Leipzig, of course, they will go for the win. They have some great players in the offense. Bayern Munich, they kept clean sheet against Stuttgart in their last match before the break, but it was their first clean sheet in their last 8 matches. So their defense is in shambles this season. And I think that Red Bull Leipzig could maybe escape with at least a point here. Red Bull Leipzig with plus... no, the odds moved. Anyway, yeah, I'm with a draw here, guys. I'm all the way with a draw here. A draw wouldn't hurt Bayern, wouldn't hurt Red Bull Leipzig a lot. Of course, they'll go for the win, but I think we'll see a stalemate, maybe a 1-1, 2-2, something like that here.
Yeah, the 1-1s are plus 650. The 2-2 is plus 1,000, which is 10-1 on your money. I'm kind of leaning towards one of these teams winning by that standard 2-1 scoreline, and it's plus 900 on Leipzig and plus 850 on Bayern Munich. Kev, I'm going to go to you next on this one.
Yeah, I pretty much agree with all Pavlos said. I was looking towards the home team here, catching a quarter goal, but it is trending downward. It's going down to about a pick-em 9 with juice now. So, you know, money's pouring in on Leipzig, and it's understandable. You mentioned all the injuries, Lewandowski, no Alphonso Davies, Serge Gnabry also likely out. So, and actually, it's very surprising for such a European powerhouse that Bayern are. They really have limited depth in a lot of areas across the pitch, certainly less than someone like Manchester City do, for example. And, you know, those gaps aren't that easy to fill. We're not sure exactly how Hansi Flick's going to approach this game just yet. Maybe he does a false number 9, some other strategy, not sure. But if he opts to go with Choupo-Moting as a straight swap for Lewandowski, that is a serious drop-off, you know, in Bayern's attack. Because, look, we kind of know what Lewandowski brings to the table, but his importance to Bayern is actually pretty much understated in my book. His goal-to-team percentage this season is at 45%. That's absolutely colossal. Lewandowski scoring 35 or Bayern 78 goals this season. Like, as an example, Jamie Vardy for Leicester is only on 23%. And most people would say he's the main attack man for that team. So it really highlights exactly how important Lewandowski is to this Bayern attack. And, you know, with him out, where does that production come from? You know, as we said, Choupo-Moting, I sincerely doubt it. So I thought Leipzig was somewhat unfortunate in that 3-3 reverse fixture draw against Bayern back in December. And RB Leipzig actually have a solid record against Bayern in the Bundesliga. They've drew all of their previous head-to-heads, 4 of them, I should say, drew their 4 previous ones. So if you can get them at a plus quarter goal here, that's probably the side I'd be on. But as Pavlos says, probably the best outright bet you can make in this game is at the draw. He's in at plus 275. I like that. So, RB Leipzig off a quarter goal or straight draw.
All right, Nick, I'm going to give you the final word on this. And I will say, these are 2 teams where you've got Bayern Munich, the top scoring team in the Bundesliga with 78 goals. But Leipzig, and we've seen it all season, they have been tremendous defensively, only allowing 21 goals, which is also the lowest number in 26 games, mind you, as well, too, in the Bundesliga. So which force wins, if any?
Yeah, the draw that these guys mentioned basically, in my mind, wraps up the league title for Bayern. Even with Lewandowski out for a little while, their schedule the rest of the way in the Bundesliga is cake. So they draw this game, it's over. And Leipzig knows that. They got to win this game if they want to finally knock off Bayern from that pedestal. So Bayern playing this one out to a draw towards the end of the game is not a bad way to look at it. It's a good price, good return. I actually like the under more so in this game. I mean, we already talked about Lewandowski being missing. Leipzig, they play all year. They don't have a number 9. They don't have a true striker. If you look at their goal dispersion, they have 3 players tied with 6 goals. So, they don't have that true attacker up there. And they wear teams down, they wear teams down over 90 minutes and win a lot of games low scoring. That's not their pedestal or their pedigree, to score a lot of goals. So it's always scary to get behind a Bayern or to play a Bayern game on an under, but I think this is a great game to do so. If you look at the history between these teams as well, yes, they played to a 3-3 just barn burner last time we saw them in December. But before that, their previous 8 meetings had all ended with 3 goals or less. And I think because there's so much on the line here for both of these teams that this game is going to come out and start very slow. I think it's going to be a little bit cautious, no unnecessary risk. Nobody wants to make that first mistake. So I like the under in this game. Another prop that's actually hit is in 4 of the last 6, both teams have not scored. So that's going at plus 180. So both teams have scored no. I'm a little bit hesitant there because I could see like a 1-1 type of a game playing out. But I do like the under 3 here. I see a lot more scenarios where this game ends at 3 or less versus it going over the total. It could push like with the 2-1 win either way, but I don't see it going over.
All right, we are going to get some good, obviously some good info there from Nick Borrman. We're going to go to the last game, and I love the fact that we're doing 4 games where the odds are very tight on both sides, and this is another one. France Ligue One, PSG at home, PSG minus 138. The draw is plus 280. Lille is plus 375, and the total is 2.5. These 2 teams share top spot. They're tied with 8 games to go. So this is a big one for the title hopes. You look at Lille, they've been great away this season, 9-4-1. PSG, uncharacteristically, they've lost 4 games at home this season. This is something they don't normally do. The reverse fixture in this one finished 0-0 in a 0-0 draw. Pavlos, I'm going to go to you first on this one. This is the only thing, and there's no information on this yet, but we saw last year France, the league shut down after the pandemic, and France is now about to enter a complete lockdown. I don't know what this does to Ligue One, so it's something that we'll have to keep an eye on. But the fact that the country is going on a complete lockdown might actually halt soccer or football in France again. But give me your thoughts on this game.
Yeah, it would be a big shame if this season gets shut down because it's one of the most exciting seasons in the Ligue One where 4 teams are actually fighting for the title. PSG have 63 points, Lille have 63, Lyon have 60, and Monaco have 59. It's just 4 points off the top spot. So it's a very exciting, probably the most exciting season they had in France in years. And Lille, they've been doing great, a really great job all season, but they were engaged both in the Europa League and the Ligue One and the French Cup lately. So they couldn't handle all 3 competitions. They dropped out of the Europa League. They dropped out of the Cup. So They won just 2 of their last 7 matches in all competitions. But now everything else is out of the way. They'll have to focus on winning the Ligue One title. Their defense has been really great this season. They've only conceded 19 goals in 30 matches. That's the best defense in the Ligue One, clashing against the best offense. PSG have scored 67 goals. So I'm not so sure that we'll see a very low-scoring affair here. I think that we'll see over 2.5 goals. The price is great. I think it's minus 100. The last 6 matches in this venue, the last 7 matches, in this venue, have been won by PSG. They've won each of the last 7, and 3 of those wins came by 2-1. 2 of those wins came by 3-1, and there was a 2-0 and 3-0. So that's exactly where my focus is. I think that we'll see one of those 4 correct scores. So if you like it, if you make like a small stake bet on all 4, and there is a guarantee that you'll get a return from that. So 2-0 goes at plus 650, 2-1 goes at plus 700, 3-0 goes at plus 1100, and 3-1 goes at plus 1150. So yes, I see a lot of goals here, at least 3 of them. So the over looks really good, and the scores that I mentioned also appeal to me.
All right. Nick, give us some quick thoughts on this one.
All these games that we're covering all have Champions League implications coming up. And normally, we talk about fading teams going into Champions League matches. But other than City, 3 of them, including PSG, have a lot on the line in their league. So not really paying attention to that here in this game. PSG, this is the league title for them. If they win this game, the rest of their schedule, they should win out. So if they can win this game, I think they're going to take home the league title again. I mean, all year long, they've been looking up at Lille, and they finally have a chance to pass them here. And, these teams just played 2 weeks ago with PSG winning 3-0 at home in the Coupe de France. And it's hard to see anything other than another pretty standard PSG win here. They've won 7 straight at home over Lille. The last time Lille won in Paris was in 1996. And I just, I think what's showing here is just experience. And know how to, knowing how to win when you need to win. Lille, they're not a winning team on the long run. Yes, they're a good team, but as Pavlos mentioned, they got knocked out of the Europa, they got knocked out of the Cup, and now they're going to fall from the top spot in Ligue One. They lost right before the international break at home to Nimes, of all teams. You can't do that if you're going to be a league-winning team when the pressure's on. You just can't do that. PSG, meanwhile, at that same time, went in, won 4-2 at Lyon. Proves right there that when they need to win a game against the other best teams in the league, they can do it. So to see anything but PSG winning this game is hard. That being said, they've also kept Lille scoreless in the last 4 times they played. So I like PSG to win to 0 actually at plus 185 is the prop I'm looking at to play this one, because I don't see a PSG not winning, and I would be surprised, honestly, if Lille get on the board here. I don't see them. I see PSG clamping down, and I see them doing what they need to move on. And Lille just has struggled against PSG over the years. So PSG to win to 0, I think, is worth a little bit of your money this week.
All right, that wasn't quick, but all right, Kev, a final word.
Yeah, just Lille +1. I'll leave it at that.
All right, Lille +1. Thank you for making that quick. Because we've got to be out for the Puck Time show that comes at the top of the hour. Guys, thanks for tuning in. Hit that like button. The April special will be up on every Capper's page, 129 for 30 days of soccer. We'll be back Tuesday, 10 a.m. with the Champions League edition. Some big games next week. So tune in. Thanks for tuning in today, and good luck with your wagers this weekend.
Lock in all sports, all plays, all 5% best bets for the next 30 days from your favorite WagerTalk handicapper for only $1.99 versus the regular price of $3.49 for a total savings of $1.50. Prices are already discounted across the board and no coupon is required. Just head over to WagerTalk.com, pick your favorite handicapper in the experts menu, and lock them in for 30 days across all sports for only $1.99.